Hello, it's time for a weekly reading update, though I didn't actually read a whole lot last week, so it's going to be a little more of a book haul about books that I got earlier in the week from the library. And it's been quite the week, and I don't really know how to start talking about it because it's been a long time since I talked about my personal life on this channel. Oof, could you even hear me? It's been at least a couple years since I talked about my life. I used to talk about my life a lot on this channel, actually. Then it became books, all the time. And so now I'm out of the habit of referencing my life, and you have no favorite reference because last time I talked about my life, I think I was a graphic designer, which is no longer true. I'm currently, for paid work, being an event producer, and most of my clients are in kind of technical sales, so I do a lot of webcasts and live broadcasting services, but I have something new to update you on. So I can catch you up now what's going on. So recently I joined the programming staff at Geek Girlcon, which is a nonprofit organization that celebrates female involvement in the arts and sciences. So think like design and technology and gaming, etc. And they do an annual con, which is amazing. I went to it last year. And they also do smaller events throughout the year. There's outreach. It's a really, really great organization. I'm very excited to be joining them. And there's a whole list of other rotating projects. Last week was really weird. Didn't read a whole lot, but I did get a bunch of books that I'm going to read soon, so I'll share those. So of the books that I got last week at the library, I read one of them over the course of last week, and the one that I read is Seven Surrenders. It's by Ada Palmer. It was so good. This is the second book in the Terra Ignota series, and it's the sequel to Too Like the Lightning. Now, I talked about Too Like the Lightning in my last video and totally raved about it because it's so good. The second book, just as amazing, fantastic. The philosophy gets deeper, the history more poignant to this future utopia. And in particular, the first book was kind of a more intellectual and spiritual journey for me, but this one, by the end, packs such a emotional, poignant wallop that it had a whole nother dimension added to this. The series is just getting better. I really, really love it. So other books I got. So when I was at the public library, they had a display for books that are in celebration of Women's History Month. So a couple of those I grabbed, and one of them is March of the Suffragettes. This is subtitled Rosalie Gardner-Jones and the March for Voting Rights. It's by Zachary Michael Jack. And this is about a march that happened in 1912. And Rosalie Gardner-Jones was the general of a all-women army who marched 175 miles across New York in December. This was to gain support for women's voting rights. And so this book is about the march and the women who led it and who were in it. Another book that is kind of in celebration of Women's History Month is Manifesta, which is subtitled Young Women, Feminism in the Future. It's by Jennifer Baumgartner and Amy Richards. So this is the 10th anniversary edition. When it first came out, it was amongst the first forerunner books of the third wave of feminism, and so it's got some added information now that it's 10 years since then. And so it's a book about gender and why we should be talking about it and why we should have activism around it, etc. And I think it's a really interesting book for me to read from a kind of a cultural academic perspective, just because of the way that it is referenced in our culture. So two other books, these are going to be both science fiction. One is Elysium. This is by Jennifer Marie Brizet, and I don't actually remember what this is about, and I definitely don't remember why I even decided that this was going to go on my TBR. It's been there for who knows, months, years. I don't remember anything about it, but it was on my TBR, and I assumed I heard something great about it. And what's even more difficult about figuring out why the heck is that there's not really a whole lot of information on the back. There's a one-sentence summary of this book on the back cover. So the summary is that a computer program etched into the atmosphere has a story to tell. It's the story of two people, of a city lost to chaos, of survival and love, but the data has been corrupted. So dystopia, AI, love, things, it sounds at least interesting and likely to be very good, which is why it went on my TBR. Now, last book, a bit of a doorstopper, big thing. 600 pages, almost a doorstopper. This is New York 2140. It's by Kim Stanley Robinson, who's one of my favorite authors. He has a great political voice, a great ecological voice. He is the voice of reason. He writes neither dystopias nor utopias about the future. Arguably, though, you could argue slightly utopic. But he's really just has a moderate, sensible, reasonable view about what the future is going to be like. In this book, this is not too long from now, the water has risen, and New York is partly underwater. The streets look like canals. I'm just looking at this cover to tell you what it's about. And these skyscrapers are islands. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the latest by Kim Stanley-Robinson. I'm always waiting for his next book, so I'm really excited to read this. So those are the books that I got, and I will be reading very, very soon. I hope that you will have a good reading week. Till next time, lovelies.